Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing my 2026 predictions video here. And I felt drawn to do sort of a collective for the year for kind of the whole country, if not the world. So I'm going to read these cards. This is going to be pretty general because, it's for everybody in the whole world. So, but like I said, for some reason I felt drawn to do this. So first thing I'm seeing is that it's going to be a very prosperous year for a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of victory in this year. You're going to see a lot of people getting married and settling down this year. There's a lot of good emotions overall amongst people. I see that there's going to be victory over disillusions and scandals and things hidden. So a lot of things are going to be exposed this year in that sense. So there are going to be tower moments for some people that are maybe not doing the right things. And there's going to be this strength of victory over these people that might be doing criminal acts or things that would not be good for humanity. So I do see that there's probably going to be some people put in jail for these things that are going to be exposed. There's also going to, these people will put up a fight for their freedom. So we will see maybe some salacious court cases and things like that might interest a lot of people. I also am seeing that there's going to be a lot of opportunities offered to people just in general. It's going to be a year of opportunity. So you might find that you get more opportunity than previous years in your career or in your life. Could be, romantically, or even could just be in friendships. So, that could apply to so many different things, new opportunities, but those things are going to be coming into your life. So what Spirit is saying is, be open to those things, be aware of those things when they're coming in, because what I'm seeing here is that there is going to be a fair amount of people that are not going to recognize when new opportunities are knocking at their door. So it's important that we stay aware of that and take advantage of that. And then I see that this year there will be a lot of personal victories for people, and there's going to be a real turn towards ourselves and taking care of ourselves and making sure that number one is taken care of, that you are taken care of. Versus people pleasing or focusing on anything other than making sure that you're happy, that you're okay, that you're taken care of financially, health-wise, so all these things. And it makes a lot of sense to me, the reason why, because this is a 1 year we're going into. I don't know if you know about numerology, but if you don't, I highly recommend looking into it and trying to understand it better, because 2026, it adds up to a 1, and so this is a 1 year, and a 1 year is a year of independence. It's a year of focusing on yourself. So that is, what this card's indicating to me, is that you will be your own world. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself and And it's interesting to me, the Tower card's right next to the, this World card. And so it's kind of showing me that, and I know a lot of people think the Tower card can be a scary card, and it can sometimes indicate that there is something traumatic coming down the road. But this can also just mean that, sudden change is coming. And with it being next to the World card here, and the Strength card on top, it's showing me that, like, I think there's just going to be a real sudden change in people's, like what they're focusing on. And to me, that's saying, like, a lot of people are going to be more focused on themselves and making sure that their goals are achieved, that they are taken care of, that they have what they need. Which makes sense to me in a 1 year. So just be aware of that. And like I said, like with the opportunities coming in and things like that, it all plays in together, that we need to focus on ourselves and make sure that we're taking advantage of things that are coming in. And if we do, then we'll have that victory. And, and it'll be a good vibe all around. So that's kind of the collective reading that I got. So now I'll go and I'll pull some cards for, let's see, what the first thing that comes to my mind is the U.S. economy. So that's what I'm going to ask is, how's the U.S. economy going to be in 2026? Okay. Well, it's a pretty good reading here. I like that we've got two kings here. Kings are, they're the doers of the zodiac, the tarot. They are, the movers and shakers. They're the ones that get things done. So that's really good to have with the economy. And we have the King of Pentacles here, and so that is money. So that lets me know that a lot of money is going to be made this year. It's going to be a very good year for money. King of Wands is like, it's that, indicator that things are going to be moving and they're going to be moving forward, which is really good. So I think, like, with these two cards next to each other, that's really great. With the Four of Swords here, it also shows me that things are going to be stable. So not only are we going to be making money, a lot of it, but, the economy is going to be going up, but it's also going to be rather stable, which is good. So, so it's not going to be so volatile as maybe past years might have been. So that's pretty good. I'll ask about how Donald Trump's presidency will be in 2026. We'll see how this year goes for him. Well, this is very interesting. So this is showing me that he's going to be uncovering a lot of people stealing money. And he's going to be exposing it, and he's probably going to be putting a lot of people in jail for this fraud and stealing. And what's interesting is that he's going to find some way to give that money back to the people, which is going to make the people very, very happy. So we might, he's talked about doing like a tax dividend or, giving back money to people and things like that. So to me, I think this is what is going to happen in 2026. And we could see multiple payments going out to people because of this, fraud over here. So there might be, the uncovering of it and then sort of a refund to people for that, and a lot of people will be very happy with him for that. Let's see about natural disasters this year. I think these cards are really showing me that it's going to be a really good year for natural disasters, and that we're not going to have that many, like hardly at all. this is kind of saying that like there's harmony with like Mother Nature, and the wheel's turning in our favor. So that, is showing me that it's for some reasons nature's going to be happy and it's not going to do too many bad storms or anything like that. Let's ask about this, what's in the news right now, which is all the fraud that, is being uncovered. Ask what's going on with that, or what will go on with that. Yeah, so this is sort of showing me that it's like what was done in the dark is now going to be exposed in the sunlight, and we're going to be seeing all these places that this money has gone to. And then what this card is showing me is that there's going to be arrests, and there's going to be a lot of deportation in connection with the fraud, and people are going to be happy that the money is found, or at least exposed. The fraud. Let's ask about what's going to happen with Israel and Palestine. Well, it seems like to me that there's going to be, I feel like it's going to be Israel that's going to be offering multiple different scenarios of solutions to Palestine in hopes that they might take an offer. So we have, several different options here. We have, this person, and, I'm getting that it's representative of Netanyahu, and he's offering it, offering these cups, and he's getting stonewalled. He's getting these people that are not interested in any offers that they have. So it's going to come to kind of a standstill because there's not going to be any cooperation. So that's going to be an issue for sure. I'll ask about what's going to happen with Ukraine and Russia. Well, I'm getting that certainly there's going to be like working together, and somehow coming to some sort of compromise, which will allow somebody to retreat from, the fight, or whatever is the situation, and then but I do see still that like these people that are working together and trying to come to a compromise, they're still gonna have like kind of cutting words for each other, and they might be doing that sort of stuff like in the public eye, and doing that in the press and things like that, where they would be kind of like airing their dirty laundry, I think, in hopes to maybe like be the bigger dog, like be the bigger threat, or somehow gain some ground on the person. So it's like they're trying to work together, and I see one of them like accepting it and kind of retreating, but then it's like it's like talking smack behind their back, type of thing. But it's not behind their back really, it's like in the public eye, so they're gonna like know about it. So it kind of undermines what they're trying to do here, like to work together. So it's contentious. So I feel that it's probably gonna still continue. Like they're this sort of like push-pull where they're fighting, then they're having peace talks, and then they're fighting, and that, it's like kind of not quite over yet. Because neither of them really want to let it go. So, let's see what's going to happen with China and the U.S. Well, there's going to be like some quick movement in regards, I'm not really sure what it's in regards to, but there's like quick movement with something, and then there's like having to defend themselves. This is kind of what I feel like, is that it's like China's gonna like do something quick or something like that, and then they're gonna have to like defend themselves like on the world stage. But then there's like people moving in the background, and they're being sneaky, and I feel like this could be both China and the US. I don't feel like it's just one. I feel like it's both. They're doing stuff secretly, like behind each other's backs, to each other, so it's kind of a, and I don't know what like it's in reference to, but it's, if you can see this Hermit card here, you see there's a snake, and so that shows me that like there's people being sneaky, they are doing stuff unbeknownst to each other. So it could get bad if like people find out about like these like sneaky things that people are doing. So that one's pretty vague, I know, but it's kind of all I can see right now. All right, I'll ask about what's gonna happen with Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is going to be adopted pretty widely in the banking sphere, I'm seeing. So there's going to be a lot of banks and maybe corporations and things like that that are going to use it as a store of value. So that's going to be a good place for them to, it's kind of like in a way, like a digital gold. So they're definitely going to be putting money into it. It's going to grow for sure. But it's still going to be pretty volatile. So you're going to find that it's going to go up, like the price. It's going to continue to creep up, but it's going to swing widely. So like it'll be like, let's just say if it went up to 200K this year, it's like it could also drop down to like 80,000, but then it's like going to go all the way back up, so like things like that, it's going to be like wildly volatile, and it's just because people are going to be like taking profits and things like that, but it's still going to stick around. It's for now I see a lot of people adopting it. I'll ask about what's going to happen with XRP. Well, what I see here is that there's going to be a lot of retail people that are going to be heartbroken for XRP, just because it's not going to be a quick move. It's going to be very, very slow. And a lot of people are going to be questioning, should I get out or should I stay in? What they don't know is that behind the scenes, like the banking people and stuff, like they already know like how good it's gonna be in the future. So like they don't really care about retail, but this is interesting, like setup to me, because this is like giving me that they're still building it. It's still like in its infancy. So there's no way it could grow, very high right now, because it's like last year was like the beta testing of it, and now it's like very, very, very slow implementation. But if you can see, this is a 9 of Cups. This is the card of contentment. So this is showing that like the people behind the scenes are content with its growth. It's on track for what they know, if that makes sense. So like the people who are, work with it in the banks and all that stuff, and the ones that are putting stuff on the blockchain, they're content with the growth that it has, because they know like, oh, it's like right on track with like the projections or whatever. So my advice is like, don't get discouraged, just hold on to your XRP. Just know that like the people that are working with it, like they're content with it. They are fine with where it's at, and that's because they know where it's going. I'll ask about what's going to happen with Ethereum. Well, Ethereum might... Well, it's gonna be pretty status quo year for Ethereum. It's not gonna grow that much, but it's not gonna lose that much. So it could just kind of stay balanced in that way. There might be some people that might make a little bit of money on it, but it's pretty much going to stay status quo. It's not really going to go too far. And then there's something here about like an artificial suppression of it. So that also could be why there is this status quo, that it's like it can't grow, because there's something happening behind the scenes where it's like this artificial suppression of it. And I don't know, who would be doing that, but it's or why, but that's kind of what I'm seeing with that. What else? Maybe I'll ask what's going to happen with I think it's like the midterm elections in 2020. I think it's in 2026. We'll see. Well, I think pretty equal amount of Republican and Democrat people will win their races. We could see maybe slightly more Republicans than Democrats winning. But it's going to be like by a hair, you know what I mean? It's not like, so I don't know if that, I'm not entirely sure about the midterms. I think that means that like maybe they'll keep control of the House and Senate. I don't really know exactly, but it's something along those lines. But still a fair amount of Democrats will win their races, but I do think that possibly the Republicans will keep the House and Senate, if that's what that means. But yeah. All right, maybe I'll switch it over to celebrities now. Let's see what's gonna happen for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Well, I certainly see a successful marriage here, so I think they will get married. I do think she will get pregnant. I'm not entirely sure if she would get pregnant in 2026, but it is certain that she will at least have one child from these cards. And then I see there's a new project. I think they're both going to be working on new projects. Probably for him, it's going to be acting. And then for her, possibly a new album. She also might do something with, like, writing. Could be, like, a play. Maybe she's written a play or something like that. Could be that. And I know that, like, there was, like, stuff out not that long ago about people thought she'd written a movie, and then some people thought she'd written a musical. So, I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm kind of seeing it here in these cards, but there's definitely something. And of course, I see both of their projects are going to do extremely well financially, so they have nothing to worry about there. I also see that they could purchase a new house together. And it could be somewhere like in the mountains. A mountain retreat, maybe like a ski retreat or mountain retreat, something like that. And then I feel like Travis is going to be like super like gushy about her, like in the press and maybe on his podcast. Like, I feel like he's going to be very vocal about, you know, how much like he loves her, and how, like, probably talking about the wedding and the honeymoon and, you know, like all that stuff. Like he's gonna gush and gush and gush. I think that's what I see for them. Let's see what's gonna happen with 50 Cent, because he has had quite a year with him making the P. Diddy documentary. So I want to see what's gonna happen with him. Ooh, turned it the wrong way. Well, unfortunately, he might have kind of a hard year because I see that he might get sued by some people. Might even get sued by P. Diddy, but could get sued by other people, maybe that he's talked about in the documentaries and stuff. There's also here, I think he's going to be exposing more people, not just P. Diddy. And so, in a sense, he's going to get, you know, his justice, but then I think he could also get sued in return. Yeah, that's what I see. Let's ask about... I'm going to ask what's going to happen with Gavin Newsom, because a lot of people are talking about him getting, maybe going for the presidency. I mean, I see him, there's going to be a lot of communication coming at him. It's like, it's just going to be a year of a lot of talk for him. And I know that doesn't like make that much sense, but it's like he'll do interviews, he'll go on TV, he'll be talking on his, Twitter, like just communicate, and so it's almost like we could have like Gavin fatigue, because like he's gonna be everywhere. There could be a little bit of element of like he's trying really hard to, in a sense, defend himself, even though these aren't traditional defense cards, but like it's like he's trying to like counteract bad press by like putting out his own press. What's interesting to me though is like I'm getting that like in a sense it's like it goes in one ear out the other. So like he's gonna be talking, and like nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna really listen to him. Like nobody's gonna be like no one's gonna be like, oh yeah, Gavin, you're right. You're totally right. Like it's gonna fall on deaf ears, and that's gonna be, I think, a situation for him. There's also something here about his wife. I feel like maybe his wife could leave him in the midst of all this. Could be because of another woman. So he might get caught cheating. So things like that could happen to him. What's interesting is I'm not picking up anything like that he would be in trouble with the law or anything. So that's interesting to me. I'm gonna ask the cards about what's gonna happen with Tim Walz, because a lot of people are saying that he should be investigated. These are kind of interesting cards to get. I feel like he could be accused of like accessory to the fraud situations that are going on in his state. And he could be accused of like kickbacks, like receiving money in return, for letting them do the fraud. I think, from these cards, I can really only see that it's could be just accusations at this point. I'm not seeing necessarily that he would be arrested or anything like that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of who's like in the news right now, who's popular. Okay, so ask cards what's gonna happen with Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Ooh. It's not good. I see like they're trying so hard to work together to like keep their marriage together. And like he has so much mental illness. Like there's just so much that he like can't handle. It's like he can't handle the anxiety that he has. He can't handle the depression. Like it's like too much, way too much. And like I feel like she could leave him this year. And it makes sense. Like if you think about, because it's a 1 year, it's like she's going to be thinking, I need to do what's right for me. So I could see her leave him. And I mean, the death card does not always indicate death like itself. It's really more about a transformation, in a situation. And that's what leads me to think that they could break up. But with all of this depression and things that he's going through, I'm not going to say he will die. But I'm just saying that maybe you could see he might have like a suicide attempt, which we hope would not be successful, but it could be possible that, this could happen. So hopefully he will lean on his faith, but he's going to go through some really, really tough times ahead. I'm going to ask what's going to happen with Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. Well, it's not really the best cards here to have either. I feel like they're going to be fighting a lot. There's going to be like nostalgia for the past, so I don't know if that could be both of them, but it's like it could be maybe she's nostalgic, for Justin. I really hope it's not, but it could be like a situation that Ariana Grande went through, when her ex died, and then she broke up with Pete Davidson. So I don't know. It could be that same sort of situation if Justin were to pass. It's like there's going to be a lot of guilt, a lot of feelings there, a lot of just remembering and nostalgia and things like that, which could lead to fighting and things like that. Now, the Two of Pentacles here, it kind of is showing me like I'm weighing the options of, with the Pentacles, to me, it's like somebody saying, is it worth it or not to get divorced or something like that because of like how much it costs, like how much it's going to cost me to, either stay or split. So I don't know if they didn't like sign a prenup or something, but, I hope they did, but, still, it still costs money even if you get a prenup, but yeah, so, it's there, it could get a little hairy there for them. I know Miley Cyrus just got engaged, so I'm gonna ask the cards what's gonna happen with Miley and Max. I mean, there's gonna be some sort of like loss of money. I don't know, how that would happen, but loss of money. And then there's like, I'm waiting. It's like, I'm waiting for my ships to come in. I'm waiting for, so I don't know if like one of them is gonna, like they're gonna be apart from each other for long periods of time. But it's like, I'm waiting for this person to come back, or I'm waiting for, because it's like a lonely person waiting. And they're sad. So I feel like they're gonna, maybe there's gonna be a tour of some sort where like they can't be together. Something like that. I'm gonna ask about Nicki Minaj, because she's been in the news, for her support of Donald Trump. What I see right off the bat is that she's becoming way more religious and getting very into her faith, and just leaning into that more and more and more. And we might even see her putting out much more faith-based music, or at least like less dirty music. So things that have less cussing or less sexual reference, things like that. I do see she's going to be dealing with a lot of people judging her for her choices. I don't see it affecting her though. Like, I don't see her caring about it. Like, I don't see her, she's not going to engage with the haters, so she's not going to give any credence to them or any of her time. And I do see that this change in the way that she is doing things, and the change in like if she starts putting out less vulgar music, she'll actually make a lot of money doing that. She'll do very well financially if she were to go that route. Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen with Erica Kirk. Yeah, so she, in a sense, is like avenging her husband's death. Not like physically, but she is doing it with her words and carrying on his legacy. So like she is like, in her mind, kind of become this like warrior for her husband. It's like her sole mission in life now. And I don't think like she is ever going to stop. Like from these cards, it's like she's going to continue and continue and continue. Like she might, after some time, might just start doing things like a little less visible, but I definitely see that like it is her soul mission now. It's like all she cares about now. So I'm gonna ask what's gonna happen with JD Vance. Well, JD Vance, well, in some circles, he's going to be very celebrated, and, I know a lot of people are talking that he might be the next nominee for president, so, in some certain circles, he's definitely people's top choice for that. In other circles, it's like the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this was like he's nailed to the cross. Like it's like they're going to just come after him. They're going to attack him. But with the Fool here, it's like he doesn't care at all. Like he's just walking right off the cliff. Like I'm just going to see where it all takes me, and it's like whatever people say about him, it's like it rolls off his back. Like he doesn't care. It's like he's just like I'm just going for it. I'm gonna like walk right into the fire and just see what happens. So, he's just gonna take it, whatever people have to say about him, and he's going to enjoy the circles that do celebrate him. So ask maybe I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm gonna ask what's gonna happen with the U.S. housing market. So I forgot about that earlier. Oh yeah, like I'm seeing that like the big institutions like BlackRock, it's like they're gonna continue to just snatch up houses and things like that, which is gonna keep the prices kind of where they're at, which is a real bummer for people that are just trying to buy a house, single family homes for single families. Like it's like they're getting priced out of the market because of these big corporations that can afford to buy things at high prices and hold them at high prices. It's like these big corporations are like artificially propping up the housing market so that like it doesn't crash when like it actually probably does need to crash, but because they have so much money, it's kind of like a vicious cycle, like where there's so much money invested in the mortgage industry and everything that it's like they don't want it to fail. They don't want it to crash because like so many people will lose money. So they are trying to keep it afloat, unfortunately. When like people just like want to be able to buy a house and they can't do it. I don't know what to ask. I have one more question. I guess I'll ask, what's going to be the outcome of exposing all of the fraud and things like that, like, with Doge coming through and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think like it's just like exposing this, these very, very bad people that are wanted to just take advantage. And it's like there's going to be a brand new start, a brand new system put in place, a brand new paradigm. There's going to be a lot more accountability for the money, like who they give it to, how it's given, like checkups on it after it's given. Like there's going to be a lot more accountability to where like it'd probably be almost impossible to do fraud, like in the ways that they're going to change it. Like they could put it on the blockchain also in order to prevent fraud, so that who's getting each dollar and where it's going and what it's for. Whereas in the past, it's like they were just handing out like millions of dollars and with no checks and balances, like no information of like where it's going or who's using it. So that I think is going to be a thing of the past. And people like this that are evil in that way, that want to steal, they're not going to be able to do it. So that's good. That's a good thing. Well, I'm out of cards. So that is my 2026 predictions. Let me know if there's anything that I missed that you would like to get answers on. I just do these things kind of like what pops into my head. So I know I miss a lot sometimes of, things that I could get predictions on. So please let me know, or people that you want to know predictions on, and I'll certainly either put it in the comments or maybe I'll do a part 2. But thank you so much, and Happy New Year.